Well, hello and welcome to Good Life GPS with me, your host, James McNeil. Every single week, we bring together the leading experts, the top hearts, top minds to help you to discover your best path, your best life as your best possible self. Well, hello and welcome. James McNeil here. Thank you for joining us at Good Life GPS, where we are committed to helping you find the best path to your best life as your best self. And there's nothing much more important in life than happily ever after, happy home, happy family. I think the world has been talking about, marriage and having kids is somehow a hassle or something negative. But those people are lying to you. The greatest treasure on earth is in our relationships, and not just what we get from our relationships, but the relationships themselves. And there's no greater treat on this planet than having kids that you can have grown-up relationship with, and you can see that you've blessed the world with a soul that can really touch lives. And I can say that myself. As a young man, I struggled in many ways, and someone said, the secret to your future wellness, James, is to become the dad you wish you had. And by the grace of God, I've done exactly that. My son and I are best friends. He's 34, which is crazy because I'm only 24. And there's nothing better. And so I'm blessed today with being able to bring to you some experts here who this is Linda and Vito, and they are in Bahamas, which means they sound really cool, and they are really cool. And they help couples with 7 pillars of strengthening your marriage. They also help with their regular podcast, which is Unique Couples. And we're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about how you can have the best love story ever. And I'm so excited. So I'm going to ask you both, Linda, Vito, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please introduce yourselves, fix up anything I messed up, and let people know who you are, what you do, and then we're going to dive in.
Hello, James. How are you? It's great to be here today. I am Vito Patrick. I'm the husband of one wife, lovely Linda Patrick. We have been married for sweet 16 plus 6 years. 22 years we've been married. We have been blessed with 3 wonderful children, 2 girls and a boy. And we love helping couples. And we are just excited about being here today and sharing about our recent book that we published, 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage.
Amen, amen, and amen. So tell us, Linda, did he say everything right, or are you going to correct him?
He said everything. I'll just say hi. I'm Linda. Like I was like, when are you gonna stop? He said everything. He said everything.
Nailed it.
So I'm excited. Thanks for allowing us to come and share, because when we think about marriages and what is happening around the world, and people are really looking at marriages like, that's an option. It's not something that we have to do. And so it's kind of unnerving to see that this is the trend, because we want our children to grow up in healthy environments and a healthy home with their parents. And I say that because for me, that was not the reality that I faced. And I remember as a little girl saying, if my mom and dad were together, certain things that I faced would never have happened. And when I see and relate to children, I see so much of what is happening to them. And I'm like, oh man, if only they had 2 healthy parents in this relationship, and things would be so much better for our children. So,
preach it, sister. Preach it, brother. I am sad and concerned for younger people today, and I don't blame the younger people. I don't blame them at all. They have been, in my perception, lied to and manipulated for some less than loving reasons, and they've been turned against marriage and love and family and spiritual connection with divine God by whatever faith. I'm not forcing anything down anyone's throat. My friends and I share our faith in God. We're Bible-based people, and we love everybody no matter what. And I want you to know that when people say it would be good to, you will be happy if you choose to be happily married and respect that and honor that and have a rich relationship. I recently heard Dr. Jordan Peterson. Are you too familiar with Dr. Jordan Peterson? No? Well, he's a guy worth checking out. He's actually quite unwell right now, so I've been praying for him. But he said, you want to talk about sex? Fine, let's talk about sex. He says, you know who's having the best sex? Happily married couples. Happily married couples, especially after the getting the hang of this marriage thing. There's the opening sequence of honeymoon, and then there's the journey of maturing into what are we now? How are we now? But once people get past that, the honeymoon stage, the wait, we've got some things to work out phase. After that, nobody on earth has more sex or better sex than happily married couples. And so the people who are saying, oh, the single scene is great, well, evidence would suggest it's not. And so if you want to have, if you're thinking about, let's just say sex, for an example, that one topic, nothing's better than marriage. Nothing's better than a committed marriage for you to have the best possible sex life on top of everything else that's highly rewarding in it. And so I just wanted to encourage people to seriously consider marriage. And if you're in a marriage, seriously consider making it great. So let's talk about that. Most of the time when you work with people, they're already married. So your work is not generally with singles to talk about how to find someone and how to be prepared for it. You generally work with people who are married and help them to make that great. Is that correct?
Yes, for the most part, that's what we do together. I, of course, work with ladies as well, specifically to help them become the best version of themselves, so that when they are ready for this relationship. So we
Yes.
do that, but I primarily do that on the side. But most of the couples we deal with are married,
Yep.
and so of course we hear about the struggles, we hear about the things that concern them, and we seek to, with God's guidance and of course with
Mhm.
practice and our experience, to help them, guide them through the difficulties that they're facing.
Beautiful. So, one and all watching this episode, I want to thank you for joining us for this valuable and helpful conversation. And if you're sitting there watching this and you're saying, "Well, I'm not married. Maybe this isn't for me." Well, if there's a chance you will be, you might want to learn a few things here. And if you're in a marriage and you're thinking maybe this isn't working, well, how about give this conversation a chance and listen? And who knows what miracles can ensue? And so, for one and all, I encourage you to pick up these principles that I believe are transferable to life and business for singles and everyone else. So, I guess the first place to start is, what are the kinds of challenges that couples that you work with are facing? Kind of like the before picture. What are the kinds of things that people would say, I don't know if it'll work because of X? Either we're the fire's gone out, or we're fighting, or finances, or whatever, jealousy. So let me just leave it to you experts. What are the kinds of challenges that you find people in, and then you help them with the 7 pillars and more?
So, like you mentioned, some of the challenges that folks mention would be finances. Another challenge would be that they are not dating one another. They are
Mm,
not having that communication with one another. And those are big challenges because when they were dating, they were doing all sorts of things where they can interact with one another. They
yep.
would be seeing one another on a daily basis, going out more frequently. And after they get married, they would now kind of get laid back,
Hmm.
relax, and stop doing these things. And one of the principles that we talk about in our book is you want to be able to have that continuous dating. That
Yeah.
is very important.
Yes.
And even before the dating, you have to make sure you know your spouse
Yeah.
Hmm.
because we talk about his needs and her needs, and it's important to know what is your spouse needs. It's
Yes.
important to know their love language. So once you incorporate all of that, then you will have a successful, thriving marriage. And you have to continuously put the work into your
Yeah.
marriage so your marriage can be successful. And
Yes.
you want to continue learning your spouse as well, because
Mhm.
you will grow together and change will happen.
Yep.
And you want to make sure when that change is happening, you are doing it together.
Yes. Amen to that.
Yes.
I've heard long ago the idea that one of the challenges of marriages is that men are quest oriented. And so the documents I was reading were saying, men see uh, getting married as a box to check off, to say, I'm now a grown up. I found someone, I pursued, I somehow convinced her to trust me and marry me. And now that I've got marriage taken care of, I'm moving on to something else. And my focus is now on my business or on something else. And they see it as a job complete, not a life begun. And so I've heard that. I've also heard men say, well, that's nice, James, but I see it the other way. And they say, um, their experience was women can be wonderful until they know they've gotcha. And once they know they gotcha, they might not be wonderful anymore. So you're the experts. So help me with this. Is it possible that both the man and the woman have the potential of changing once they're married in a way that could leave the other one feel misled? They're no longer pursuing, they're no longer seeking to impress or seeking to understand. Is that real for both parties potentially?
Listen, there is truth in both sides, and I say that because when you look at when women enter a relationship and in marriage, they think about all of the things that they can do to make him the perfect husband. So
Hmm.
they enter thinking about the changes that they can make. And men,
Yeah.
of course, enter thinking, this is who I married and this is who I expect to be.
Hmm.
I expect you to be this way and not just physically, like I just
Hmm.
expect you to be this way throughout
Yeah.
the relationship. So as you can see, that's like, two different things happening. A woman expects changes,
Hmm.
improvements because she is marrying on potential. And then the man expects, no, you remain exactly because this is what I married. And so when you
Yes.
enter marriage with these two different dynamics, then of course we will have
Hmm.
problems because
Yeah.
everyone has different expectations. And
Yeah.
so for a man, yes, he is into the chase. And that is just how God has created.
Mm.
How God created us, and that's
Yeah.
how He's created. And so, what I tell the lady is, I'd say, be that person where, yes, have him chase you. Let's put that in our marriage. Don't make it seem as
Hmm.
if I am not going to do anything extra. This is me. I'm going to um not try to do anything interesting. I'm not going to be creative when it comes to what we're doing in the bedroom. I'm not going to be creative when it comes to enticing my spouse. I'm not going
Hmm.
to be spontaneous. I'm not going to try to do interesting things. So if you have that attitude, of course, there will be problems. So I encourage them to, yeah, let's act as if you didn't have a ring on that finger. How would you be? We want to
Hmm.
be like that in our relationship. We want to always be enticing. We want to have our spouse chase us. Make the relationship fun. Okay, so do
Hmm.
those activities, have those challenges, have those new experiences
Hmm.
together, which will keep your relationship vibrant. And of course, build intimacy. And I think that's one of the biggest issues, especially as it relates to women, that they face lack of
Hmm.
intimacy. Okay. And then, of course, physical intimacy, of course, and definitely emotional and spiritual intimacy as well. And so, when those are a problem, then we have all sorts of other things. And when couples are not, whether or not they began as friends, like we didn't begin as friends,
Hmm.
but we made it a point where it was like point blank, will you be my best friend? And we
Yeah.
had to make that decision. I had to make that decision that I wanted him to be my friend. And
Yeah.
so If he's my friend, he's going to be someone I want to talk to. I want to be in his presence. I want to share what happened during my day. I want to communicate and connect with him. And we
Hmm.
need more marriages to have that.
Yes, yes.
And
So,
mhm.
uh, okay, I just wanted to, summarize. So what I was talking about, as far as what I had heard, is that men see it as a checkbox to get checked off. I
Mhm.
achieved marriage. Now I can completely ignore marriage and work on another project. And women might perceive their job is to I don't know if the term is land a man or get married, and then once the man is no longer a mystery, when when it's no longer a get him committed, when that's no longer the case, then what happens to the energy? That was one thing. And then you brilliantly, and it really slapped me as being true, that that women often enter a marriage and the man is a project to be turned into the man she really wants, but the one she's got isn't the one she really wants. She just believes he's a fixer-upper, and someday, if he will comply with her efforts, he will become a man worth being married to, which probably doesn't make the guy feel great. And then if a man says, "Wait, you were a size X the day we were married, you're not allowed to not be a size X. You were 23, you have to stay 23. Like, you have to be what I married and never change." And of course, both could find frustration in the pressure of always changing because you're not good enough, or never changing because I want to put you in plastic and you have to be exactly the way you were the day I met you. And the amount of pressure unconsciously, if people aren't even aware they're doing that to themselves and to each other, the amount of pressure and the feeling of being misled, this feeling of I was tricked, both the man and the woman might feel that I was tricked. And so for people to understand that these things can happen, these can bubble up. It could be unconscious. It could have been learned from the media or culture or whatever. The point is, you're now on the same team. What do we do about it? Would you agree with me that, like, sure, maybe, yes, but what about now? Now, what are we going to do? Do we want to make this great? And it requires that commitment. Would you agree that it has to be both parties saying, I'm all in. What is it going to take to make this the best possible experience that I can? Would you agree with that? It has to be both.
Yes, yes, it has to be both of them, and it's 100, 100. 100
Yes.
from the man, 100 from the woman, and like you said, you are now one team.
Yes.
Linda and I, we are the Patrick team. So we work together, we
Yeah.
communicate together. We want to have a successful marriage. We want to grow old together.
I
We
love it.
know our bodies will change, and we have to
Mhm.
prepare for that. We
Yep.
have to plan for that, because persons work on a job 20, 30, 40 years,
Yes.
and they plan for retirement.
Yes.
In marriage, you also have to plan for when you reach 30 years, 40 years,
Mhm.
50 years, 60 years. You have to plan for all of these things.
Mm.
So you have to constantly be planning, and all of that will be happening through communication.
Yes.
I love it.
So
I love it.
all of that works together. And I mean, even as it relates to finances, we
Yes.
have a chapter in the book as well, as it talks about progressive finances. You want to have those regular monthly check-ins as it relates to your budget, so both
Hmm.
of you can be on the same page. And here again, retirement, talking about what how our funds will be looking as we get older.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a key term that we like to say about as it relates to that, and that's intentional loving.
Oh,
Like,
I
we
love it.
have decided that our relationship is the most important issue. And we
Mm.
need, we encourage people, make your relationship the most important issue. So even when the challenges come, which they will, problems will come. We'll have issues with children. We will have financial storms. We will have a whole lot of things happening. But when we decide, and then of course we'll grow and change too. So the perfect size 6 will change into something else. But
Hmm.
even when all of these things happen, we have decided that no matter what, our relationship is the most important
Yes.
issue. So with
Yes.
God's help, we are going to weather it together. So what should and normally what would draw people apart is what we will allow to draw us closer together.
Yes.
So when you're intentional about loving your spouse, you look for ways to show them, and not just show, but tell as well. Definitely
Yes.
show and tell that you love them, and don't take it for granted, because sometimes we think we have tomorrow. We think we have another day, but the reality is we don't. And we
Yeah.
talk about having those drips of love. Okay. So we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Drips of love. And the drips of love is the things that you do on a daily basis.
Yes.
Drip, right? Not splashes of love where, oh, it's a birthday, I'm going to do something special for my spouse. Or
Yeah.
it's Valentine's, I'll do something special. Or an anniversary, and that's it. But no, how are you talking to your spouse on a daily basis? Are you
Yes.
showing that you care by the things that you say? How are you just nagging, or are you just saying derogatory statements? Like, what are you saying to
Yes.
your spouse on a daily basis that's showing that you're intentional about loving them? And so when you take the attitude of, yes, my words, what I say, and my feelings, and what I show my spouse on a daily basis, like those drips of love, it will indeed help you advance through whatever challenges may come, because yes, you're going to be intentional about the loving.
I love this. I want to share with you from my own perspective. So I'm a widower, and I'm not sure if I had the chance to tell you that, Linda, but I'm 60. I know I look 25. I understand that, but I'm 60. And when I was 45, I met this magnificently beautiful young lady, and I fell for her instantly. And she was much younger. I wasn't chasing younger. I just fell in love with a woman I met. And she was 28, and I didn't think I had a chance, but I couldn't resist trying. Well, we fell madly in love. We had a beautiful love story. And she's from Peru. We met in Toronto through friends. And we were dating maybe a month or so. And one time I went to pick her up, and she was angry. And I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" She says, "My mother is driving me crazy." I said, "Oh, what's happening?" She says, "Every single day my mother asks me, 'How are you treating your king?'" She said, "What?" Said no Canadian mother ever to a daughter. And her mother was like, "If you do not treat your man like a king, you won't have a king for a husband. If you don't treat him right." And I'm like, "I love your mother. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard." Because for me, I as a child was a people pleaser trying to make things okay. I was raised in turmoil, and so it's like, okay, how do we make everyone okay? How do we calm everything down? How do we keep everyone safe? So I will tend to do I will tend to go the extra mile. And I suppose I could be taken advantage of, but I just don't spend time thinking about that. But with her mother, it's like, if you're not spoiling him rotten the way he's spoiling you rotten, you're going to blow it. Like, you do not want to lose this. This is your man. And I just thought, we don't teach our sons and daughters how precious an intimate relationship is, and how to not take anything for granted, which is, going back to what you just said, Linda, take nothing for granted. And every opportunity, make that drip investment in a happily ever after love story. Make that drip investment. And in our short marriage, we were only married 1 year and 2 weeks, and she died of a severe brain aneurysm. And she was perfectly healthy at the age of 30. There was nothing wrong. We were planning kids. Everything was going perfectly, and then in seconds she was gone. So it just happened, and that's another conversation. But through our 1 year, I learned some valuable things, and I'm glad that she was open with me. She said, "Whenever you are at risk of looking bad, you blame me." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She says, if we're not going to go to an event, you'll say she doesn't want to go. And I never thought of that, because I would protect her from 12 gorillas, but I didn't protect her reputation from my ego. I would rather blame her and look good than say, "I decided we're not going," and protect her. And I was so humiliated when she brought that to my awareness, and I apologized, and it must have been anyways, it was very embarrassing to realize that I was throwing her under the bus. But if she didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known how much that hurt her. And if I didn't take it on the chin and own it, then we wouldn't have had a breakthrough on that one issue. But that's one of a million, I'm sure. And that's why you said communication is so central. Is that correct?
Yes. Sorry to hear about that. Our condolences. That
Thank you.
definitely, a whirlwind romance, and
Yes.
but I'm glad you appreciated the time that you
Oh,
had together.
I thank God for every moment we had, every moment. And I just noticed the clock. I've been having too much fun chatting with you. But let me say this: I want everyone watching this to get into the world of Linda and Vito and their work. There's the podcast, Unique Couples, and there's the new book, The 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage. And you have a free gift that you're able to offer people. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes. And so, we talked about having those daily drips of love and the things that you
Yes.
can do on a daily basis. Well, we call it a spa. And so this spa allows you, this is our spouse supporting positive actions, the things that you can do on a daily basis. So, and I think we have maybe a week's worth in there for you. So go ahead. Yes, you want to get that link.
Yeah.
And so it's the things that you can do on a daily basis to spice up your relationship. It involves, of course, things that will allow you to connect with each other. So intimacy is encouraged, and of course, communication is weaved into the worksheets and stuff that you will get. And so when you do these activities, it shows and it tells your spouse, I am intentionally loving you. So with these activities, you get to practice those daily drips of love, communicate, and get connected with your spouse on a daily basis. So go ahead, if you want to get that spa tracker. And of course, we have some date night ideas in there too, kind of like spice it up, because we believe in being intentional about spending time, making your spouse your
Yes.
best friend, yes, but hey, that's your lover too. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're older in your marriage and may think that, oh, physical intimacy, sex isn't a thing, I'm sure there are other things that you can do to
Well,
stay
let me be
connected.
clear. At the age of 60, it's the thing. It's still the
Okay.
thing.
So all of that, yes, you'll get when you participate in our spa. So
I love
hope,
it.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
go
we're
ahead.
going to put the link in the description and people can click on that. They can get connected to you. Of course, they will want to talk to you about getting a copy of that book, The 7 Pillars to Strengthen Your Marriage. They're going to want to check out your podcast, which is Unique Couples, and thousands of people have been blessed because of your work. You're good souls doing good work, and I'm telling you, this is part of saving the world. This is part of saving the world. The family has always been the foundation of healthy society. It always has been. It always will be. It is divine design and it works. And it's under attack, but we have beautiful souls like you who are coming alongside and helping couples to have the best love life, the best marriage possible. And I just thank you so much for taking the time. I'm going to have to ask you to come back at some point, but I've truly enjoyed our conversation. I think you're beautiful souls, and I thank you for your insight. I'll give you guys both the like a last thought. What is a parting thought you want to give to the couples out there?
Yeah. So we want to let couples know, continue to work on your relationship,
Mm,
because we want relationships to be stronger. We want them to be healthier. We want them to be happier. And by having that helps to have healthier families in the communities. And that's what we need. Not just here in the Bahamas, but all around the world. We need healthier families. So
preach it.
marriages needs to continue to thrive. Be intentional about loving.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes, because marriage is a God idea, right? It
Mhm.
is indeed. And so let's include him in everything we do related to the marriage. And
Mm.
like Vito said, be intentional about your relationship. Be intentional about loving each other.
Thank you, my dear friends. One and all out there, please connect. Click on the link and get to know Linda and Vito directly and follow up, follow through, get those date ideas and have fun, for crying out loud. If you and your spouse haven't been laughing in the bedroom, amongst other things, things can get better. You can have a ton of fun. You are committed, and it is right and good for you to enjoy each other and have a magnificent love story. And this couple is here to help and support you. So click on the link, follow up, follow through. And yeah, so one and all, thank you so much for joining us at GoodLife GPS. And whether it's family, fitness, finance, mental, emotional, psychological, we want to be here to support you. And that's what this show is about. And if you're watching this and you say, hey, I have a message, let us know. I'm always looking for great guests with great messages. And today we definitely had that. Again, thank you so much, Linda and Vito. God bless you. And I hope and pray our viewers will be in touch with you and taking their marriages to the next level.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
God bless. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye. Well, thank you very much for watching Good Life GPS. I hope you've got great value. We are committed to help you find the best path to your best life as your best possible self. Now, if you have a show idea or if you'd like to be an expert on the show, please contact us using the contact form in the description. Thank you. God bless. See you soon.